Right now, there's a structure so tall that if you stood at its base, you'd need to look up for 20 seconds straight just to see the top. But that's not even the most insane part. Beneath the ocean floor, there's a tunnel connecting two continents, and in the middle of a desert, there's a road that literally swallows entire trucks whole. These aren't movie props, they're real, and they exist on Earth today. For thousands of years, humans have been building things that shouldn't be possible. We've moved mountains, we've diverted rivers, we've created islands from nothing, and every single time, we pushed past the limits of what engineers said could be done. But here's what most people don't realize. These mega projects don't just appear out of nowhere. Behind every impossible structure is a story of failure, sacrifice, and obsession. Some took decades to complete. Others cost more money than entire countries earn in a year. A few nearly killed everyone who built them. This isn't a list of cool buildings. This is the story of how humans engineered the impossible and what it cost them to do it. From ancient pyramids that still baffle scientists to modern towers that bend in the wind without breaking, we're about to explore the structures that change civilization. We'll discover the engineering secrets they don't teach in school. We'll uncover the disasters that almost ended these projects forever, and we'll find out why some of these mega projects might not survive the next century. The question isn't how did we build these? The question is, why did we risk everything to build them? Let's find out. Let's start with something that has puzzled scientists for 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza. This isn't just old, it's impossibly old, and impossibly precise. Workers moved 2.3 million stone blocks. Each one weighed between 2 and 15 tons. They aligned these blocks so perfectly that you still can't fit a credit card between them today. No lasers, no computers, no machines that could lift multi-ton rocks hundreds of feet into the air. Yet somehow, they built it anyway. The real problem? The pyramid stays the same temperature inside, about 20 degrees Celsius, no matter what the weather is outside. Scientists still don't fully understand how. Some theories suggest internal air shafts. Others say the limestone itself has thermal properties we haven't figured out. Then, there's the alignment. The pyramid points almost exactly north, not by accident. The ancient builders were so good at astronomy that they could align a structure the size of a city block to the stars. Modern compasses using today's magnetic north would be off by several degrees. The pyramid's builders were more accurate. Here's where it gets darker. Estimates suggest 20 to 30 years of construction. That means hundreds of thousands of workers labored on this single project. Many died. We don't know how many. The records don't say. But the pyramid still stands. Just last year, scientists found a massive void inside the Great Pyramid, a hidden chamber nobody knew existed. What's inside? Nobody knows yet. And that's the thing about ancient megaprojects. Even after 4,500 years, they're still keeping secrets. Not every megaproject succeeds on the first try. In 1889, French engineers decided to dig a tunnel under the English Channel. Connect France to England. Simple idea. Impossible execution. They dug from both sides, expecting to meet somewhere in the middle. But the calculations were off. When the two tunnel sections finally broke through to each other, they weren't aligned. The French side was 10 meters too high. The entire project nearly collapsed, literally. It took another century before someone figured out how to actually do it. But that's not the worst engineering disaster on record. The Panama Canal almost never happened. The French tried first in the 1880s. They sent thousands of workers to dig through the jungle. What they didn't account for was disease. Yellow fever, malaria, cholera. Around 22,000 workers died, not from accidents, but from mosquitoes. The jungle itself became the enemy. Engineers couldn't solve the problem because they didn't understand it. Mosquitoes weren't their concern. They were focused on moving dirt. When the Americans took over the project, they did something radical. They fought the disease first. They drained swamps. They screened buildings. They treated infected workers. Only then did they focus on digging. The canal was finally completed in 1914. Here's the brutal truth. Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't engineering, it's nature. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge in Washington State learned this the hard way. In 1940, just 4 months after it opened, winds hit the bridge at the wrong frequency. The structure began to sway. Then it twisted. Then it collapsed. A car was on the bridge. The driver escaped. But the bridge, this massive steel structure, fell into the water like it was made of paper. Engineers watched the footage and realized something terrifying. They'd been building wrong the entire time. Bridges needed to flex. They needed to move with the wind, not resist it. Every mega project built after that learned from Tacoma Narrows' failure. China didn't invent mega projects, but in the last 30 years, they've perfected them. The Three Gorges Dam isn't just big, it's the largest hydroelectric power plant on Earth. It generates 22,500 megawatts of electricity. That's enough to power 60 million homes. But building it required moving 1.3 million people from their homes. Entire villages disappeared underwater. Families that had lived in the same location for centuries were relocated to make room for water. The dam holds back so much water, 39 trillion gallons, that scientists think it might have actually shifted the Earth's axis slightly. Not by much, but measurably. A structure so massive it changes how the planet spins. Yet China wasn't done. In 2020, they completed the South-North Water Transfer Project. This isn't a dam. It's something bigger. An entire system of canals, tunnels, and aqueducts stretching 2,700 kilometers, longer than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. It pumps water from China's wet south to its dry north, supplying cities like Beijing with fresh water. The project required millions of workers. It took decades to plan, and it fundamentally reshaped how water flows across an entire continent. Imagine rerouting a river the size of the Mississippi. Now imagine doing it across an entire country. But here's what's wild. While most countries were debating whether to build one megaproject, China was building 5 simultaneously. The Qingdao Bay Bridge, the Shanghai Maglev Train, the Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal Expansion, the Chengdu Silicon Cube Supercomputer Center. Projects that would define other nations' entire engineering legacies were just Tuesday for Chinese engineers. By 2024, China had built more high-speed rail than the rest of the world combined. The question everyone started asking, how is this even possible? And more importantly, what are they planning next? Nobody talks about what megaprojects actually cost. Not the money, the human price. When the Three Gorges Dam was built, 1.3 million people were forced to leave. They weren't asked, they were told. Some families had lived on that land for 2,000 years. Archaeological sites were flooded, ancient temples disappeared, historical records were erased. In the name of progress. The workers who built it, many were migrants from rural areas, desperate for income. They worked 12-hour shifts in dangerous conditions, falls from heights, equipment failures, cave-ins. Official death counts were low, around 200. But independent observers estimated the real number was much higher. Companies had incentives to underreport deaths, less paperwork, fewer lawsuits. The same pattern repeats across every megaproject. When the Panama Canal was being dug, the death toll was so high that local workers refused to show up. Engineers had to import laborers from Jamaica, Barbados, and other Caribbean islands. Thousands died far from home. Their families never knew what happened. The canal was built on unmarked graves. The Karakoram Highway, connecting Pakistan and China, required 24,000 workers laboring in mountains so harsh that avalanches, landslides, and earthquakes were constant threats. The official death toll, 810. Researchers who studied the project estimated it was closer to 4,000, almost 1 death for every 2 kilometers of road. Here's what's almost never mentioned. Mega projects are often built by people who have no choice. Desperate people, poor people, people whose families never get compensated. We celebrate the structures, we ignore the cost. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, built partly by migrant workers, paid a fraction of what local workers earned. Many had their passports confiscated. Some worked without proper contracts. This is the dark side of human achievement. After confronting the cost, it's hard to look at tall buildings the same way. But then you see the Burj Khalifa, and your brain breaks a little. This structure rises 828 meters into the sky. That's nearly a mile straight up. From the ground, the top disappears into clouds on most days. The building is so tall that if you took an elevator to the observation deck and watched the sunset, you could take another elevator down and watch the sunset again. You'd experience the same sunset twice because the building is taller than the angle of the sun's descent. Engineers had to invent new concrete formulas just to build it. Regular concrete would compress under its own weight. They created a special blend that could handle the pressure. They also discovered something unexpected. The building moves. In strong winds, the top can sway up to 2 meters side to side. Most people inside don't notice because the movement is smooth, but the structure is literally bending without breaking. Then there's the problem nobody expected. The building gets so hot in the sun that the metal exterior expands. The building grows taller during the day and shrinks at night. Engineers had to account for this when designing it, but the Burj Khalifa isn't the tallest structure anymore. That title now belongs to a building that doesn't exist yet, the Jeddah Tower in Saudi Arabia, currently under construction. It will reach 1,000 meters, the first structure ever to break that barrier. And here's the thing. Once we build a 1,000-meter tower, what's next? A 1,500-meter tower? A structure so tall it enters the stratosphere? The real question is, why do we need to keep building higher? Water is harder to control than concrete. Water doesn't stay where you put it. It flows, it erodes, it destroys. Yet humans have spent millennia trying to bend it to their will. And sometimes, we actually succeed. The Panama Canal is the most famous example. Before it existed, ships had to sail around the entire South American continent. That meant adding 2 weeks to every ocean journey. The canal shortened that to a single day. But here's what's incredible. It uses no pumps, no motors, just gravity and simple gates. When a ship enters the canal, it floats into a chamber called a lock. Gates close behind it. Water from a nearby lake, Gatun Lake, floods in. The ship rises 26 meters. The front gates open. The ship sails across the lake. Then the process reverses on the other side. The entire system works because water naturally seeks its own level. The engineering is elegant, but the system is fragile. Every single day, approximately 14,000 gallons of fresh water from Gatun Lake flows out of the canal and into the ocean. With over 14,000 ships using the canal annually, that's 196 million gallons of fresh water lost daily. During droughts, the lake levels drop so low that ships can't pass. In 2023, the canal had to limit daily traffic because there wasn't enough water. A structure that changed global commerce was nearly shut down by a drought. Then there's the Kong-Zhuhai-Macao Bridge. This isn't just long. It's 55 kilometers of roadway stretching across open ocean. Building it meant fighting typhoons, earthquakes, and water so deep that foundation work required new engineering techniques. The bridge had to be strong enough to survive Category 5 storms. Engineers tested it against simulated 8.5 magnitude earthquakes. It held. The real achievement? The bridge was visible from space. A human structure so massive it could be seen from orbit. Everything we've talked about so far already exists, but the mega projects being built right now will make them look small. In Saudi Arabia, they're constructing something called the Line. Imagine a city that's 170 kilometers long but only 200 meters wide. It's basically a wall-shaped metropolis designed to house 9 million people. It will be the longest and narrowest urban structure in human history. No cars, no traditional streets, just vertical living stacked along a single line. The engineering challenges are absurd. How do you move 9 million people through a narrow corridor? How do you prevent the entire structure from becoming a bottleneck? How do you keep it cool in the Saudi desert? Architects are still figuring it out. Then there's the Jeddah Tower we mentioned earlier. At 1,000 meters, it will be the first human structure to break the kilometer barrier. But engineers are already planning what comes after. Structures that reach 1,500 meters. Buildings so tall that the top would be in the upper atmosphere where the air is dangerously thin. The real frontier, though, is underwater and in space. Scientists are planning floating cities, massive structures that sit on top of the ocean. Not islands, actual cities that float and move with the water. They'd be immune to rising sea levels because they'd rise with them. The technology exists. The question is whether we can build them fast enough before climate change forces us to. Meanwhile, space agencies are planning the first permanent off-world structures. Moon bases, Mars settlements, habitats that don't just survive, but thrive on other planets. These aren't dreams anymore. They're blueprints. Some construction starts within the next decade. The question isn't whether we'll build them megaprints. It's whether we should. Every mega project has secrets, weird engineering quirks that seem impossible until you understand them. The Eiffel Tower grows taller in summer. The iron expands in heat, adding up to 6 inches to its height. In winter, it shrinks back down. This is so predictable that engineers use it as a thermometer. If they measure the tower and it's 2 inches taller than yesterday, they know the temperature rose by about 30 degrees. The Empire State Building has its own zip code. Not because it's special, but because so much mail gets delivered there that the Postal Service gave it a unique address. It receives thousands of letters daily from people around the world. Here's the really strange one. The Great Pyramid's internal temperature stays constant at 20 degrees Celsius, no matter the outside weather. Scientists have tested this repeatedly. Even on days when the desert hits 50 degrees outside, the inside remains perfectly cool. We still don't fully understand why. Some theories suggest the limestone absorbs and distributes heat evenly. Others think the internal air shafts create natural ventilation. The truth is, ancient engineers solved a problem using methods we can't quite replicate. The Burj Khalifa has a sewage problem. There's no sewer connection from the building to the city. Instead, trucks arrive daily to pump out waste. thousands of gallons daily, from the world's tallest building, removed by truck. The Channel Tunnel, which connects England and France, has a pub in the middle. Workers digging from both sides met underground, and to celebrate, they built a bar at the midpoint where the two tunnel sections joined. These details matter. They remind us that megaprojects aren't just about scale. They're about solving problems we've never faced before. And sometimes, the solutions are weirder than the problems. We've built structures that defy physics. We've moved mountains. We've connected continents. We've pushed the boundaries of human capability further than anyone thought possible. But here's what keeps engineers awake at night. Most of these megaprojects were built for a world that no longer exists. Rising sea levels are threatening coastal megaprojects. The Great Wall is eroding faster than we can repair it. The Three Gorges Dam's massive weight might be triggering more earthquakes than it prevents. And the Hoover Dam's Lake Mead, is dropping so fast that the dam itself might stop working within a decade. We built these structures thinking they'd last forever. We were wrong. The real question isn't what we'll build next. It's whether the structures we've already built will survive long enough to see it.